Okay, I'm going to go into a part 2 here about the rules and regulations in national forests. Okay, we're not talking national parks. Okay, national forests, they allow dispersed camping, which means 14 days you can camp for free every 30 days. So 14 days on, 16 days off, and then you can come back again to that national forest. You can go, after the 14 days, go to another national forest and disperse camp for 14 days for free. No hookups, no garbage bins, no water hookups, no dump stations, just dispersed camping out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, national parks, they do have campgrounds. They're all, you have to pay, but you can't disperse camp in a national park. So just know the difference between a national forest and a national park. Okay, this is my part 2. So I'm going to go through, I've got like at least 10 things, and I got to go through this kind of quick. Okay, 14 day on, 16 days off, then you can go back to the national forest. Okay, you can go to another national forest after the 14 days. I'm not sure about how many miles from your present campsite in one national forest to, after your 14 days is up, how far you have to go from that campsite to another national forest to set up camp again. I've been in the Coconino and the Kaibab, and I've gone to both of their websites, and nowhere does it say you have to go 20 miles away or 25 miles away. But some ranger in the Coconino came up and told people, me and some other campers, that we had to go like 20 to 25 miles away, and there's nothing in writing that I've seen, unless it's in their handbook, but they should be, it should be on their website so all the public can know that. Because this one ranger, when I told him, okay, I'm going to go to the other national forest down the road, you know, which showed on the map there was dispersed camping. You have to look on their maps. Showed dispersed camping a few miles away, and this guy was like, if I see you down there, I'm going to arrest you. You know, instead of just saying, well, there's a 20 or 25 mile an hour rule or regulation on the books, and where is that in writing? Ranger John, I'll call him. I haven't seen it. I've spent 2 days on Coconino National Forest website, so it's saying nothing about you have to move. If you go to another national forest to camp, you got to move so many miles. Now, the BLM clearly states in their brochures and on the internet, after 14 days of dispersed camping, you have to move 25 miles. That's the BLM, though. That's a totally different agency. And you can go stay camping on BLM lands. You just have to move 25 miles. They clearly state that. New Mexico clearly states the national forest rules there. Every national forest is different. They can all come up with different rules. So far, I've not seen anything in writing. I don't know where this ranger's coming from, because I have not, unless it's in his personal little ranger you know, book that they give just to the rangers. But this should be public knowledge. Shouldn't be threatening campers to arrest them when they're not doing anything wrong. I was just mentioning, you know, I'm going to move down, camp down over at the Kaibab instead of, you know, I was leaving the Coconino, and he threatened me. So, I don't know the specifics on the Coconino or the Kaibab. They're both in Arizona. You know, from Flagstaff up to the Grand Canyon, Williams, you've probably heard of Williams, west of Flagstaff. You can take a train from there up to Grand Canyon. But anyway, at least this one ranger. Most rangers have been very polite and nice. This guy was, oh wow, way in the background. I don't know if you're going to be able to see him. I see, looks like a coyote, but I'm not going to even zoom in on him. He's probably 200 yards away. And I've actually seen footprints and scat right on my property, on my campsite here, that are definitely from a wolf. They're too big to be from a coyote. So, and they also allow cows to free roam out here. They allow the ranchers to allow their cows to free graze. Okay, another one of the rules is you can't camp within 1/4 of a mile of a watering hole. These watering holes were put in by the ranchers for the cows. So they don't want you spooking the cows and other wildlife from getting water, because there's a drought here in Arizona, and there's no creeks, lakes in many of these areas. So the wildlife, including the cattle, need that water. So you got to stay more than a quarter of a mile away from a watering hole. Okay, that's one of the rules. Now when you do dispersed camping, I went into that in my part one. You can't camp on any stretch of National Forest road. There's hundreds of roads out here. They're all dirt roads. You have to get a road use map and look at the roads that have little dots on the sides. So one Forest Service road might go for 10 miles, but it might show only one short spot for a half a mile where you can actually disperse camp. So those are free. If you're at near a ranger district, ranger station, you can go in there and they'll give you a map for free, or you can buy one online. Typically, when you go into these ranger stations, they'll only have the local National Forest maps. They won't have them for all throughout the country. So keep that in mind. There's fire restrictions now. Usually they post that. This is June of 2022. Because of the drought here in Arizona, California, New Mexico, and other areas, this drought's been going on for, I think, about 12 years. In some areas, it's the worst drought in 200 years. Okay, but they will put up signs saying you can't make a campfire. And also, when I pulled up into this campsite here in the Kaibab, there was a little flag, red flag, in the fireplace that said, "No fires due to wildlife danger." So apparently, you know, they're more concerned about the wildlife than the human danger. You know, it's just like when they said wildlife danger, I'm like, what about the humans? No fires due to wildlife danger is what the flag said. And I almost got fried. Last year I came out here and the rangers were supposed to go and tell everyone to evacuate because there was a wildfire about 10 miles away. This was in the Coconino, again. And the ranger that was saying he's going to arrest me if I go camp in the Kaibab, he never came by, told me anything. And so I went, all of a sudden I woke up and I smelled smoke. And that's never a good sign when you're out in the woods like this. And I saw, worse yet, I saw ashes coming down. There was ashes all over the ground. And so I kind of like panicked. I'm thinking, you know, this wildfire, and I didn't even know there was I knew there was a wildfire 10 miles away, but I didn't, you know, but when you start seeing ashes falling, you're thinking, and the smoke, you're starting to think, well, this thing could be a quarter mile away and I just can't see it. So I panicked. I set up my camp, threw everything in the trailer really quick, hitched up the vehicle and drove out. And I got to the entrance of the Coconino and the gate was locked. Now, when I was going out, there was no campers. And like, you know, the day before or 2 days before, there was like 100 campers. And I'm like, everyone's already evacuated. But for some reason, they missed me. And so now I'm getting even more panicky. Because now they locked the gate and I couldn't even get out of the place. So I went over to the gate and there was a number and I called up to report a wildfire because the other number didn't work. And it was after hours. I think it was after 4 o'clock. So nobody was in the ranger station. And so I called the wildfire number, which is 24/7. And I told them, you know, I'm locked in here. I can't get out. So anyway, they finally sent a ranger over. And so that was one of my experiences, which was kind of nerve-wracking. When you see ashes coming down, like, you know, and everything's getting covered with ash, and you're smelling smoke and everything, that's when you start to panic. You know, nobody wants to be fried. But anyway, the flag here says no fires because they're worried, no fires due to wildlife danger. So that's why I say, what about human danger? But, you know, I found out that a lot of these these rangers are getting gung-ho. They don't like it, the campers being in a lot of these places, because these are good hunting spots, like in the off season. Like this place is loaded with elk, where I'm at right now, in the Kaibab. And all the campers and stuff spook the elk out of the area. And these rangers are hunters, so they want to have a good hunting season. You know, after spennies and, you know, tourists and everything leave. So they're more concerned about the wildlife, it seems, than the human life. You know, that's the impression I'm getting. They want to come out here and kill, you know, the animals. I also I'm not seeing any squirrel this year. Last year I saw hundreds of them. They have a squirrel hunting season, and I don't think they're doing anything about that. They, you know, they don't care about killing animals. But people leave them out, and you know, lock them in, you know, and, close the gate, and if they fry, so you know, one less tourist. I kind of like, I'm being sarcastic, obviously. Okay, let me go back into some more rules. Okay, the fire service workers are in white pickups like the Rangers, but it just has like a triangle with the tree inside with FS. Okay, the Rangers have a white pickup truck too, but it says Ranger in big letters and law enforcement on the other side of the truck. So that's how you can tell the difference between a Forest Service worker and a Ranger. Okay, it's illegal to camp within 1 mile of a developed recreation site. Typically, if you get the maps, you're going to be okay there. If you get the road use maps for that particular national forest, you won't screw up there. New fines have been enacted in 2020 in the Coconino, and recently in May of 2022 of fines if they catch you camping for more than 14 days. So they're really cracking down on that 14-day limit. And the fine is up to $5,000 if they catch you camping for more than 14 days. So that both of those national forests came up with new regulations. So I wouldn't mess with them, especially when a ranger comes by my place and wants to arrest me for doing nothing wrong. I wasn't over the 14-day limit. I just got there the day before he arrived. So he couldn't kick me out of my campsite. But when I told him I was going to the next national forest in 14 days, he got all bent out of shape and just started, you know, he told me to take down my clothesline. You know, it was just a bunch of horse shit, basically. Yeah, I never had to, in all the year, I've been camping for 60 years. I've never had any problems having a clothesline up. Okay, if you poop in the forest, it has to be at least 6 inches deep, and you have to bury it, you know, cover it over. It supposedly has to be 100 feet away from your campsite or any other campsite. No dumping gray or black water tanks from your RVs is allowed, but you can poop in a hole 6 inches deep and cover it over. And trying to think, there was something else I wanted to say, and I'm starting to forget now. So anyway, I can't remember. There was something else I wanted to say about things. But okay, this is my part 2. If you want to see my part 1, you'll see something with the title, something about National Forest camping, or camping in National Forest rules and regulations, on my YouTube channel, which is Eagle Eric. Just check playlists on the top, and then you'll see a bunch of categories, and you want to click Arizona camping. It's in there, in the Arizona camping section. I'm like right next to this huge pine tree. Good shade during the day. Anyway, this is Eagle Eric. Hope you like this episode. Signing off.